Good morning, everybody. Welcome into CanesInSight Daily. I'm Peter Ariz, bringing you today's show as we're going to be talking Miami's running back room. It's a loaded group. You're losing a big player from last year in Damian Martinez, but they are reloading. Very excited about this group. Going to talk about that here in a moment, as well as CJ Daniels, wide receiver, looking very healthy. D-Money and I have talked about this guy a good amount the last month plus. You know, really coming out of spring, he was a guy that we've heard a lot of good things in terms of him coming along from his injury that he suffered last year. And if you guys can tell, it's just me today. D will be out. He's traveling today. He'll be back the rest of the week. But we'll have a special guest here joining me in just a moment here shortly. Before that, of course, wanted to remind you guys that this show, as always, is brought to you by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Dial 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733, and take back control of your life with Anajar and Levine. So I told you guys I would not be alone today. D's not joining me. We have a very special guest joining me right now, and that is 50.
What's good?
Six Sports. What's good, my boy? How you doing? Good morning.
Feeling real good, man.
Hey, man, we got no propaganda today. D's not on the show, so it's just you and I. We can talk the real. Nah, I'm messing around, man. We'll miss D.
Right.
Obviously, he's been holding it down like crazy here, doing a bunch of streams here. But no, man, excited to chop it up with you today. I'm really excited about this running back room, man. I don't know about you, but it's a group that I'm hearing a lot of great things about. We'll go one by one in a little bit here, but. Man, Martinez, I think he took a little bit to get going last year. I think people were kind of in the beginning of the year questioning. Yeah, they were on him, and we got to give him credit. He turned it around last year, big time. I think once he really got himself in shape. I don't know that he was in tip-top shape heading into camp. Like I don't think he was as lean as maybe he wanted to be or Miami needed him to be. But once he got in shape, he looked like a different back. So you're losing Martinez. He's an NFL back, right? That's not going to be an easy one to replace. His running style, I think we all became a fan of how downhill he got, and he gained some steam once he got going. But I think the potential of this group, it could be better than what it's been the last couple of years.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely with what we got out there, Porter with Marty Brown. Been hearing too many great things about him. And he's a grown man. Like, you see it.
You see his legs, man. You see the physicality that he's got in the lower half.
Yeah, like you see it with him. And like you said, we're gonna go one by one. But man, I just see a stacked room. And it's crazy because last year we were stacked. But this year we still stacked. So I love it. That's why I know y'all probably don't want to talk about it, but I can't cry over Derek Cooper. I just can't.
Listen, man, we said yesterday, everyone's complaining about Derek Cooper, and obviously it's a big loss. But for this season, he wasn't going to do anything for this season. So obviously we're talking about this group right here. Looking forward, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure that they're going to want to bring in another back, whether in this class or through the portal, because you have Javion Mallory right now, who I think we like him a lot as a back, but you're going to need another one there because we'll talk about it in a second. But I would think you lose Fletcher after this year if he does what he's supposed to do, right? So let's get right into it. Let's start with Fletcher because we're very excited about Jordan Lyle, and I think he could end up being RB1 when it's all said and done. But I think people need to really take a look at what Mark Fletcher has done the last couple of years, right? And yes, he's had some fumbling issues. He's got to take care of the football, and he's not going to be that. We understand he's not going to break 50, 60-yard runs consistently. But looking back at what he did freshman year, because let's look at the numbers here, 50.
Right.
514 yards, 4.9 yards an attempt. The next year, which was last year, 5.4 yards an attempt, 9 touchdowns, man. I think that's what people for many years we lacked a back who you could just give the ball to, and a lot of that was O-line driven, right? The blocking up front wasn't what it needed to be, and we know where it is now. But 9 touchdowns, that's a lot, man. That's as running back number 2 when you had another back in Martinez who could finish off drives himself too. So his ability on short yardage and 5.4 yards a carry, that man takes 2 or 3 steps and he's picking up 5 to 6 yards because he's a long strider.
Right.
So I don't know. That's my opinion. I think people are kind of like, I don't want to say sleeping on him because they know he's a real good back, but
Right.
I think they look at him a certain way and think that that's who he is without realizing, man, I think he's got another level to his game once he gets more carries this year.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I've been too hard on him. I ain't gonna lie to you. But what I will say is this, and what made me fall back, you gotta remember, he went through some things last year too. So with that being said, it was just on some, okay, you know what I'm saying? He get a full off season, you know what I'm saying? And he a veteran, like he a veteran now. Like it's him, what, Charmar, like they like, and Lyle, like they like the veterans of the group, and they young as hell. So
yeah, and Lyle carries himself like a vet too.
Right.
So
right. So it's more so okay, I had to lay off on because I do remember like he went through things, and plus, like you said, 9 touchdowns. At the end of the day, he doing his job. So only thing he got to do is just, you know what I'm saying, hold on to the pill. And I believe he do that this year. Like
when you got a whole off season,
right,
and that's all that's on your mind,
right.
Like that. Listen, we've seen backs. Remember, Tiki Barber had horrible fumbling issues. He
Yeah.
completely, that was holding him back, and he goes on and has a Hall of Fame career. There's a list of these guys. Some guys, they can't
Arian
get over
Foster.
it, but yeah, Arian Foster was another one. But I think, listen, Fletcher, it's a lot of times it's a concentration thing, and I know that's been a focus of his this offseason. Physically, we know he's a 230 plus pound back.
Right.
But man, I think if you're an opposing defense, he's not someone you want to see running at you in the open field, right? And we have to, as fans, we're watching. Yes, we want a back who's gonna, every time he touch it, we think he can score, right? And just go the distance. That's not always
That's
a defense
delusional. I ain't gonna
right.
lie.
That's not a realistic thing. And
Right.
I think we saw at times last year what that duo of Martinez and Fletcher did in terms of wearing defenses down, allowing Lyle to get loose. You know, you saw him at the end of the game against USF, for example. But I think you're still going to have some of that element, even though you're losing Martinez, Jordan Lyle, which we'll get to him here now in a second. People talking about the speed that he has. He's a complete back. He can run you over in the open field as well.
Right. You talking about Lyle, right? Yeah.
Lyle, yeah.
Yeah. He can run you over and stomp on your chest type time. Yeah, he like that. And like what I like with Fletcher and Lyle, they both can catch out the backfield too. Mm-hmm. And they both can block. So it's just like you really ain't got nothing to worry about. And that's why I'm looking at the like you said, this running back room. Yeah, what up here 919? But yeah, this running back room, man, it gives you, because you saw it, we ran good last year. So it gives you hope, because I look at Notre Dame, I feel we can run on it.
Right. I mean, look, that's going to be the question. We know what their defense is bringing, right? But I tend to agree with you on that one. I wanted to get to this comment real quick from Roger Allen. He says Fletcher has proven Lyle's all potential, very little production. I'll say this, man. In obviously the sheer carries and yards, obviously Lyle doesn't have that yet. But you look at Fletcher year one, ran for 514 yards and 4.9 yards an attempt, and 5 touchdowns. Year one for Lyle, he was only 100 yards less than that, 1 less touchdown, and he was running back number 3 on half the carries, by the way. So he had half the carries that Fletcher had year one, and was only back 100 yards. So running back production is a weird thing for me. I think a lot of it is driven by carries, right? And I look at the yards per carry. I'm not really concerned about the very little production part, just because I think once he gets those carries, the production is going to be there. But what do you see with Lyle, and what do you think about this comment here?
Oh, well, what I see with Lyle, like Roger Allen, you my boy. You know what I'm saying? You show a lot of love, but hey, man, when it comes to Lyle, look, you saw what that man could do. Like, you see it. You ain't got to have the carries. You know it. Like you know talent when you see it. You saw the speed. You saw the physicality. In the Florida game, he didn't get all the yards, but you saw him blocking. Like, you saw it all. And then, look, he say Lyle Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this, Hill 919. The man is the real deal. Like, he had to learn some things because he's a freshman. But man, what I saw in that spring, I'm sold. Like, he got everything.
I think D said it best. I think maybe at times he tries to do a little too much. He's got that incredible contact balance, so he feels like he can break every tackle, and then, instead of just taking kind of like, that's it. Look, I get it. We can take a couple yards here and get to the next play. That probably might be his fault, but I think you're going to see a lot of big runs come from that this year, as long as he can keep it under control.
Right. And I feel like I said, you get this, like you said, you were talking about how he had 100 less yards, right?
Yeah.
And all that. Like, you see the production, and you look at our schedule. How many teams gonna be able to stop this run? How many teams gonna be able to stop us from, like, the way it's looking? Like, somebody gonna have 1,000 yards again. And I think it could be Lyle. It could be Fletcher. I say this: we all know Fletcher finna have over 10 touchdowns this year. We know that.
Well, and this is, to me, really a crazy number when you look at who Miami's third back going to be in Sharmar Brown.
Right.
Marty Brown had last year. Let me pull it up. I had the stats here. He had 244 carries last year. Damian Martinez, as Miami's number one back, had 159. Right. So he pretty much had like 100 more carries. He carried the load, and we understand he's pretty much going to be the running back number 3. I think, as running back number 3 last year, Lyle got 54 carries. I think running back number 3 is going to get closer to 100 carries this year. I think it's going to be spread out a little bit more, because last year it was Martinez and Fletcher taking the heavy load. I think it's going to be spread out more evenly amongst the 3 of them. But man, 244 carries in a season as a true freshman. And then you're coming now to Miami where you don't have to carry the load
at all.
I think his legs are going to be nice and fresh when he gets his opportunities, and his running style, man. I don't know about you, but at least I was a big fan of Ajay Allen. Right. And I thought it would have been nice to keep him around, but you also can't fault the kid for going and wanting to be the featured back at a place. He sat here for a couple years, waited his turn. But I think if you could kind of nitpick, Ajay Allen, a lot of times he was a dancer in the backfield, which it was effective. He again, his numbers for where he was very good. But Marty Brown, his running style, downhill, goes and hits the hole. There's not much dancing around back there. He's decisive. So I think that between the tackles running style that he brings should fit perfectly.
I'm talking about perfectly. You see how we block. You see how it goes. You see the physicality. Like, he is like, when you look at the film, he's like a Mario type back. Like, he's physical. And that's another dude, can get a bunch of touchdowns. And I kind of want to spin the block on what you had said, because you were like, they're going to be spread it evenly, right? But I could also see, like, they going with the hot hand too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever just running, just keep them out there.
I agree. I think when I say that, I mean more so like when we look back on the end of the season, we say, okay, everyone had over 100 carries. I think we can say that Fletcher and Lyle will for sure get that. But I think like the gap between 2 and 3 will definitely be less, because Marty Brown, I mean, again, Fletcher, I think, and Lyle are securely 1 and 2, but Marty Brown is lurking, man. Marty Brown is, as we've talked about him a little while ago, but he's got a lot of fans in that building.
Yes. And you see him, the man looked like a superhero out there, man. Like, he looked crazy. And like I said, it's an embarrassment of riches. Like, what's crazy is when we got him, it was on some, it was like, what? Like icing on the cake. Like,
it was honestly surprising to me, man. And just talking to people around Miami, because you're talking about a dude who was a freshman of the year at the FCS level. You're talking about a dude who got, we just said it, 244 carries. You're going to get the ball and you're going to be featured back. I'm not saying he was going to stay at North Dakota State. But what I'm saying is, to get a guy to come in and agree to be running back number 3, But from what I understand, Fifth, Miami thinks this guy could be a big part of their future for next year too. So I think I got to give him credit for seeing that vision as well, and not saying, man, it's a short-sighted thing. It's either this year or bust, because I still have a couple years left here, 2-3 years left if I wanted. And I think he saw that next year there's a real opening for him to be one of this season coming up, be a big part of the offense, and then the year after that, kind of be one of the featured guys.
And like you said, he had great foresight. Like that's great, because why get used up this year when you could just show the scouts everything in your money year? So that's great.
Appreciate all the support. Of course, 50 Category 6 Sports. Go check them out on all the platforms. And then, of course, you got the Category 6 playbook here. I'm gonna pull up the page. Let the people know, man, what Category 6 playbook's all about. And then, of course, Category 6 Sports as a whole.
Yeah, man. You get data-driven sports picks. You get merch. You get, all 22. You get recruiting portal news. You get it all. Like, just come rock out with us, man. And that's everything right there. Oh man, Suave.
Yeah, how about the song, man? Going crazy. He got Fran Brown going crazy, man.
Man, yeah, Fran Brown had to give it up. Like, oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this is hard. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and he meant that too. I'm with him. Yeah, I want revenge.
You did a show with Suave yesterday, right?
Right.
Yeah, so guys, go check that out. Suave just put out a nice Canes track. Got a lot of mentions of people that we know very well, D Money included. So go check it out, guys. Go support support Suave. I know a lot of you have heard of Cliff. Shout out to Cliff. Appreciate the support as always.
Yeah, shout out to Cliff.
So 50, I like this comment here from Jonathan Crumbly. He says, our running game will be good, especially when you add Elijah Lofton. We haven't talked about him on short yardage. And then, the speed guys like Nikar, Malachi Tony, Ray, Keelan Marion on end arounds, bubble screens. Definitely want to see more of that this year. I think you have more guys with that skill set. Last year, I don't know that those guys that was their skill set necessarily.
Right.
But you saw what Marion did at BYU. He was really a gadget sort of receiver for them. Ray, I've been someone who's said from the beginning, look, Ray was a running back in high school. I think early on you really needed to get him some of these touches, get him confident. I think that maybe kind of hurt his confidence a little bit. We saw the drop. We've seen some of the other stuff. So I would like to see that. But he brings up a great point about Elijah Lofton, who D Money, as we know, brings top-notch info, was raving about him last spring when Miami was down, when their depth chart numbers were low at running back. And he was saying that this was maybe the best running back on the roster last year. So let's not forget about that weapon in the backfield as well.
And that's like, he like a nice insurance policy just in case injuries happen. So yeah, I'm with that. And we'll say Charmar would get 80 plus carries, Lyle would get 100 to 125, and Fletcher would get around 150 carries. The run game, right. Yeah, it sounds about right to me. And that's what I want to see, because we got the trenches, we got big old linemen. This ain't the tow trucks of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we got big guys.
Now I will say I'm excited about, we know Hellcat, Chris Wheatley Humphrey. He was a guy who needed to put some good weight on. I think has done that. It's an opportunity here now for him in the fall to earn himself some carries, right? Because I think once you get to running back number 4, that's where it's kind of like you understand that guy's not really going to be as involved. But knock on wood, hopefully there's no injuries, but that's the nature of the position. We've been very lucky there. We've been very, very lucky there.
Not the first year, but after that, we've been blessed. We've been blessed.
Last year, I should say. And it's crazy because of the style that those guys run.
Right.
Fletcher, well, and I should say Fletcher, Fletcher, we didn't know what it was going to look like. That's another part of the whole Fletcher thing, by the way. We didn't know what he was going to look like coming in. There was a lot of questions about how healthy he was going to be. Miami was taking that thing very slowly, as they should have, because it was the foot. But man, you're talking about a fully healthy Fletcher too, where that's to me a different ballgame. Yes, he was healthy last year, but I think just naturally it probably took him a few games to get that speed under his belt.
Right, and that's why I'm just like I'm big time. Like I ain't got no worries with the running back room, like none, because you see it, like you said, Fletcher, touchdown magnet. Then you got Lyle, do it all. Then you got Marty Brown, grown man, another, physical running back. You got Wheatley, Humphrey, Hellcat. He got speed. And then I'm gonna let you bring up the last guy.
Gerard Pringle, man. I think he wasn't really healthy during spring 50,
right.
and he started to practice there a bit at the end. And I know there's he's someone the O linemen really like to block for, because he's completely different style from these other guys, where he kind of gets in the crease and then boom, he's gone. Like he doesn't need much room to operate. Right. He's a little jitterbug back there. But his quicks, I think in those tight spaces, it's going to give you a much different look. And what I was saying before is, like, you get to running back 4, that those guys aren't going to be a huge part of the offense. But one of the other guys goes down, and all of a sudden they become a very important part of what you do. Right. And I think Pringle he gives you such a different look than the other guys that, middle of the third quarter, you maybe give him a touch or two. You throw him a little screen pass and see what he can do. They tried it with Chris Johnson last year. It wasn't completely effective for whatever reason. And look, we already know we're gonna be upset when we see him at SMU doing things this year. But I think Pringle could work himself into the mix as another wrinkle to the offense when it's all said and done.
Yeah. And like you said, they could throw on the screen, this, that, and the third, right? But I like how you circle in on how he get in between, like in the small spaces, because that's what we saw at the spring game. Like he looked real good out there, getting to that next level and all that. Like he had the speed, and there was one play where I like, well, if they ain't make that tackle, he was gone. So yeah, and the speed is legit.
I'm pulling up his high school stuff here.
Oh,
and again, he's from Armwood, obviously a big time program. So, yeah, I would agree with Heel 919 says he's good, but too small right now. Yes, he needs to put some good weight on. I would caution. I don't want to see him get too big, because then you lose some of that speed. Right. But I don't think he's too small to get 3 to 4 touches a game, right? I mean, and let's. It's not like he's going to be taking a beating consistently. That's what these other guys are for. So I don't know that you have anyone. Lyle, we know can break a big one, but I think this is a sort of player that when he gets in space, you're very concerned. As a defense. And then look, this also brings into play, which we haven't seen a ton of with Dawson, but are we going to see some 2-back sets? Are we see D Money talk about Fletcher as a potential? He likes to say he has the some of the ability of a fullback of a modern day, where he could block, catch passes. I don't know that is. I don't know that that's what Miami sees him as, but I could see some 2-back sets without a doubt.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it looked like you got Pringle on fast forward, but he just that fast. And like you said, like 2-back sets, and you get Pringle out here. This what separate him from Chris Johnson to me. You see the wiggle, like you just see it. Like I saw Chris Johnson try to do a spin move. Oof. I didn't like it. Oh man,
you see there Pringle. He's not trying to bust everything outside. He's running. He's really running between the tackles, which I agree with you. I some of these speed guys. Boom! Look at him here. I mean. Yeah, he busted outside there a little bit, but he's for the first 10, 12 yards, he's in the middle of the field.
Yeah, like you don't really see, like, okay, he busted outside right there, but I done seen him run, you know what I'm saying, like in between the tackles and just get gone, get lost. So yeah, man. He said he haven't seen it. Yeah, man. Hey, get familiar, man.
Yeah, no, he's real nice, man. And I think
Yeah.
that we didn't really talk about him that much during spring 50 because he was out for most of the spring.
Right.
But talking to some people, and you said it. It's not just the
speed.
Like, it's not just the speed. It's like, look, he's not. We understand he's not going to be bouncing off of every tackle, but I mean, he's not falling down on first contact every time, which I think, again, if you could nitpick about Chris Johnson wasn't a guy who was going to break many arm tackles necessarily.
You want to know what's crazy? I wouldn't be surprised if Lashley started putting Chris Johnson at receiver. Like reverse Brashard Smith. Like, I could really see that.
We saw a lot of fans kind of suggest that. Look, I don't know. It's a completely different position. We talk about the wiggle. Does he have the ability, as a route runner? That'll be a tough one. But as a gadget guy, I think we can agree that he has some ability. And man, Heel 919 says he looks like Duke Johnson.
I love Duke. He wasn't this fast.
Yeah, Duke. I mean, Duke got big too. Duke remember, Duke got really big at Miami. I think Duke probably lost some speed at Miami.
Yeah, he did.
That probably also helped him get in the league. I mean, he was still a 3rd round pick, so it was a pretty high pick as a running back there. But no, man, I think this is someone who, when you look at the room and you're looking for someone who people aren't talking about right now, because I think the Marty Brown word is out a bit now, right? Like we've seen a lot of people talking about him. But look at this again, breaking tackles downfield. And then in the return game too, he could be a real weapon, man. So
hey P, I just thought about something. He said, man, look like Duke Johnson, and this man ran Raul on Duke Johnson High School.
He did, man. Those Duke highlights were special. Those Duke highlights were special though, man. Those Duke highlights were a different gravy.
That was back when you was in your bag back then. You was in high school breaking info then.
That was Duke. Duke was that was my class, man. That class. That was the class that kind of got me in, man. I was the same age as these guys, and I was just going to all these camps, hanging around, man. So good times. But no, man, Gerard Pringle. I think we could run those. We could run those all day, man. Birdstone, appreciate you. So smash that like button. It's free. Shout out to the villains. Shout out to the chasers.
Yeah.
Everyone watching this show. As well. Yeah, man. So just wrapping up the thoughts on this group before we get into, I want to get into CJ Daniels a little bit. He had a video that he posted looking good, but Elijah Lofton, X Factor, like we kind of glossed over that fact. He could be the best one, but I think this room's in a really good spot for this season. A lot of Derek Cooper talk the last few days, but again, that's not affecting what this group is doing, man. So I'm really excited about this group. And by the way, I think blocking wise, what you're going to get, like the toughness, the physicality out of this group is going to be, and that's one of the reasons, like Lyle picked things up quickly last year. He did miss, I forget which game it was. He missed a blitz pickup and almost got Ward killed in one game. I'm someone in the comments, remind me if you can, but someone had brought it up the other day too, and I remembered it. But overall, that's going to be, and we understand Beck can move, but he's also not moving the same way that Ward can. Well, it was Duke. Yes, it was Duke. It was Duke.
Yeah.
Stay true. 3291 says just met D Money at the airport while watching the live show. Hopefully you didn't say what I said about him, man. That we have no propaganda now. No, man. Missing D here. We'll have him back later this week. But
hey Pete, like you were saying, them boys gonna be tone setters.
And
that's what we need, tone setting. Like,
yeah, man. That room looks physically. That room just like if you just put your eyes on them, they look how it's supposed to look.
Right.
When Mario first came in here, remember they had to bring in the back from UAB, Lucius Stanley.
I never forget.
And that's where the depth was at this point.
Right. Now we don't need a Lucius Stanley.
Yeah. No,
Lucius
they listen. It was it just shows you the depth. It was tough times, man. So let me see what's going on here. Yeah, D Money just texted me. He said I'm walking in the airport and somebody was watching you guys on their phone. There you go. Yeah. Stay true. We just got that comment. So man. Play by the rules. Appreciate the support. So moving on from running back, man. Very excited about that group, but I think we're